Wow. Mr. President, you just answered the next question because I wanted you to give examples of referenda carried out by the UN and whether any practical dangers of talking about referendum at this time for Amazonia. And unless you have something additional to add, I think I'm satisfied with the next question I wanted to ask you. Do you have anything additional? Oh, that's good.
The other thing I would like to talk about, let me talk about Sudan. South Sudan fought a brutal war after about 20 years. And the United Nations always comes in at the end. They don't come at the beginning. When the United Nations shows up, it means the problem, in fact, it means that the lines of victory have been drawn. That's when they show up. That is why it is our duty to fight. Until the lines of victory are drawn, you will not see them. They came to the Southern Sudan in 2005, and there was agreement to organize a referendum for Southern Sudan. Do you know when the referendum took place? It took place in 2011. That's why I told you people that those people are dreaming of a referendum that, when they just say referendum, by next year we'll just organize one, we'll just go and vote and win. That did not work well. It took 6 years because they have to impose a ceasefire, they have to demilitarize, they have to do resettlement, they have to do reconstruction, they have to do registration, then they have to do campaigning on the referendal questions and so on, then organization. 6 years with all the support. And one thing with the South Sudan is that United Nations was involved before a referendum was born. Before a referendum was determined, they were involved. I want somebody to begin to show me to the extent to which the United Nations is involved now. So those 6 years, those people are asking for a referendum. The only authority that is involved now is La Republique. I don't see the involvement of United Nations. If you accept the principle of a referendum, you will get it from La Republique, because La Republique is claiming, and with the support of most international stakeholders, that we are part of their country. So when you have accepted the principle of a referendum, La Republique will say, yes, I agree. They will use the trick of Morocco and say, we agree, but we are the ones to do the referendum. And we will start arguing in our camp. No, we cannot agree that you will do it. It's another people who will organize it. You cannot organize it. Then they say, no, if you don't want it, then there's no referendum. And when they get to that stalemate, some of these people who don't even know what we are doing, they will still be divided again. No, let them have it. Let them have it. Let them organize it for us. We know what to do. We will handle it. We will make sure that they don't rig it. These same people will be divided. La Republique will have their way. They will organize it. And anything La Republique organizes in the name of an election, it is won before it is organized. And then let me tell you the example of Eritrea. The United Nations showed up for Eritrea after Eritrea won in 1991. They won the war, the 30 years war. They won the war against Ethiopia. They won it because of the change of government in Ethiopia. The rebels who took over in Ethiopia, they decided to say, you know what, we're not going to fight against you. We're going to handle our internal affairs. That gave them an advantage. By 1991, they won. Then the United Nations showed up. I told you that when the lines of victory are drawn, the United Nations will come. The United Nations showed up to organize a transition authority, a transition government, to help in the transition part. Because of the confusion that was in Ethiopia, because of the civil war that was in Ethiopia, they decided to come in immediately to bring some stability, to help in the transition, to set up a transition government in Eritrea. That was in 1991. But then they organized a referendum, which truly I will call that one a plebiscite. Because, but let me tell you about the referendum of Eritrea. When the United Nations came, the first thing is that Eritrea formed a transition government. Number two, Eritrea defined who is a citizen of Eritrea, because there were hundreds of thousands of Ethiopians in Eritrea, hundreds of thousands, if not millions, who were born there, who lived there as part of the country for years. So they first of all defined who is an Eritrean. Today, who has defined that? Who will define it? La Republic will define who is an Ambazonian, right? Because there is no constituted authority inside Ambazonia. As we speak, people are talking of referendum. Eritrea had to define who is an Eritrean, and number two, establish the voters' registers. It was not Ethiopia that established it for them. They established it. And they conducted that referendum. The United Nations only supervised the operations. And they voted with more than 98%. Yes. Some stupid 1.5% or 1.60%, 6% voted no. I don't know whether they were Eritreans, whether they were Ethiopians who were hiding in Eritrean garments. So they voted overwhelmingly. Then they were granted a de jure independence. That means it became legalized now. The United Nations came there to legalize their independence. They were already independent by 1991. By 1993, that referendum process was just to grant them some de jure, some legal recognition, so that the United Nations can recognize them and so on, as they did. We have to fight. If we fight, the United Nations will come. At least they will come. They did so in Eritrea. After 30 years, they will come. They did so in Sudan. After 20 years, they will come. The ball is in our court.
Thank you, Mr. President, for this exhaustive response to these questions.